Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to the physioBRAIN channel. This is Professor Adriano, and today we are going to talk and discuss different types of dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. So stay with us and don't forget to share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, like the video, and share it with anyone you think needs to know this information. So we are going to talk about dementia, about demential processes, right? Cognitive changes. It is known today that dementias make up a large part of cognitive changes and have a significant impact on the quality of life of elderly individuals, especially elderly people, right? So how can we differentiate? How can we recognize the difficulties, the changes, and the specific characteristics of each type of dementia, okay? It's important for us to highlight that dementias can be prevented, their onset can be delayed, right? We can prevent their appearance, make the disease progress more slowly, right? This can be achieved through proper exercise prescription, cognitive stimulation, and medical follow-up with a geriatrician and neurologist working together, okay? So we can provide multidisciplinary follow-up so that these people develop symptoms as late as possible and with the slowest possible progression, okay? So we need to be aware of this. Physical exercise and multidisciplinary follow-up can delay the onset of this disease, of these cognitive changes, all right, so we're going to talk about the four main types of dementia that are well established and that we can observe they are seen in practice, okay? The first and most well known is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a type of dementia, okay? It is a type of cognitive impairment, a degenerative process that occurs in elderly individuals and mainly causes memory changes, all right? Recent memory people become more forgetful, a bit more disoriented. They forget names, sometimes even of family members, okay? They forget basic things from daily life and often they might be forgetting, right? And their cognition deteriorates in this way, all right? Usually these individuals do not show behavioral changes, nor do they have many mood swings, especially at the onset of symptoms, okay? These are people who are more forgetful, a bit more disoriented than usual, all right? We also have dementia caused by degeneration of Lewy, body's Lewy, as it is usually described, which causes changes in a specific region of the brain, okay? This can lead to certain types of symptoms that are a bit different from those of Alzheimer's disease. This dementia caused by Lewy bodies usually produces symptoms similar to Parkinson's disease, okay? So what happens? The person starts to tremble, they may have dyskinesias, that is involuntary and uncontrollable movements, they may move involuntarily, all right? They may show additional signs such as falls, balance disturbances, rigidity. So these signs are usually associated with this type of dementia, all right? So it's a little different from Alzheimer's disease, but we'll talk later on about how in the end they all end up becoming very similar, okay? And we also have another type, frontotemporal dementia, right? Its location is frontotemporal, which means that these individuals will have changes more related to behavior. They are people who show somewhat more compulsive behaviors. Elderly individuals who sometimes display changes related to sexuality, right? These tendencies become more pronounced in this sense, behaviors they've never had before, eating habits, sometimes very significant mood swings. These are usually associated with frontotemporal dementia, all right? So these individuals show more behavioral changes than actual memory loss. Sometimes these people even have their short-term memory preserved, but they have more noticeable behavioral changes, okay? So let's pay attention to these signs as well, all right? And the fourth type, right, among those we set out to discuss here is the type, it's vascular dementia or vascular type dementia, okay? In which small infarcts occur in the arteries and cerebral veins, right? Where these regions end up causing small lesions, micro lesions, small infarcts, and these areas form local lesions, and this will affect the person depending on the location of the lesion, okay? So it keeps causing small lesions consecutively, all right? They are lesions after lesions, and this creates a chain of symptoms. The person progresses according to the location of the lesion, okay? But usually these are individuals who become slower, people who start losing their cognitive and motor functions, right? In a faster way, right? Everything happens more quickly, and the tendency is for the progression to be faster as well, okay? So many times, generally speaking, we can notice various symptoms that we've mentioned from different types of dementia, but often the individual may present with several symptoms, all right? Depending on the region of the brain affected and depending on how long these lesions have been progressing, how long the dementia or the disease itself has been advancing, okay? So what can happen, and what often does happen, is that down the line, after many years of disease progression, whether it's someone with frontotemporal dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or vascular dementia, they will end up with very similar symptoms, right? With very similar cognitive and motor function, which is total dependence for daily living activity. Dependence for movement, they will lose practically all of their memory, okay? So what can we do? Ideally, what we always recommend is prevention. Prevention is the best path. Physical exercise, cognitive exercises, good nutrition. We'll be giving lots of tips in our videos here about how to maintain brain health. We've already been doing that. You can check our channel. There are plenty of tips and guidance on how to keep your brain healthy, all right? So in general, that's it. Each one has a slightly more pronounced characteristic that stands out a bit more, but in the end, they all end up becoming very similar, which is why it's so difficult to tell them apart, all right? That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. If someone in your family or someone you know has been showing any symptoms, let us know here. We really like hearing what you have to say. If you have any questions, we are here to help. Take care, and I'll see you in the next videos.